Hi, I'm Jeannie Colclough of Riveting Trips, Active Luxury Travel Design, and today I want to talk about air safety and flying, if it's safe to fly right now, and what the airlines are doing for you to fly. So let's talk, and I'm going to share with you a screen. Go to, is that the right one? No, that's going to have junk there. Let's try this again. Okay, so here we go. This is my little mini guide to flying safe during COVID-19. I realize that some of you will have to travel for your jobs. So let's see what we can do. And I'm sure if you have to travel for your jobs, you're probably on the internet trying to figure out what to do. So it's a quick mini guide. Okay. So what should you know if you have to travel by air? So the risk, first of all, the risk of catching an infection on aircraft is actually lower than you typically think than a shopping center or an office environment. The two best things you can do really are washing your hands, sanitizing them, and stop or refrain from touching your face while on flight, right? So a lot of airlines are requiring that you wear a face mask. So I would have several face masks with me, put them in a Ziploc bag or something like that, get ready to go. If you're traveling with children, because you have to travel with children, you know what you have to do, right? Get the flights, get all the stuff for them and keep them busy. And some airlines are putting spaces in between the seats so that they can space out the travelers, right? Most airlines are not flying at full capacity right now. So you're asking, how safe is the air in modern aircraft? According to a European aviation safety study, they say that 99.9% of the airborne bacteria or microbes get filtered out, right? And so the airline crew is working to keep the air clean, and all airlines are right now working and have implemented new rules and regulations. So for example, the minute you get to the airport to check in, there'll be contactless check-in, right? You can do it on your phone. There's a lot of stuff like food that you may want to prepare before you take off, or you may want to pack or do a bag lunch. And we'll talk about what you can do to kind of minimize make sure your COVID threat, right, as you go. So then you ask, what about those outbreaks on board? So this was a study, or this was a quote from a doctor who had traveled because of her job, right? And she said that when you see an outbreak on an airplane, it's not that everyone breathing the air gets infected with it. It's the people that are in the seat beside you and the seat in front of you. That's what it is. If this was an air problem, you would see much wider outbreaks on a plane. And this droplet spread virus, where the droplet travels about 6 feet or so and fall to the ground. So once again, this is why airlines are, minimizing the space, and you're not taking up, you're not gonna be crammed like sardines. You may have seen some of those airlines that are cramming you like sardines. I'm not gonna call any of them out. They should know better right now without a vaccine. And so if you want to know what kind of airline you should travel with, let me know and we can talk about that. So what is TSA doing right now? Because people want to bring hand sanitizer on board, they are going to increase the size to a 12-ounce container of hand sanitizer you can bring in your carry-on bag. At the same time, you also have to know that a lot of airlines, because they are flying with reduced numbers, they are reducing carry-on weight for their baggage and stuff like that. You can still check the baggage, but just know that sometimes your carry-ons will be limited. So every airline will have different rules. That's why I didn't put every single airline on this, because the rules that are there are that you need to wear a face mask, right? Some countries and some airlines will require that you have a COVID-19 pre-screening before you go, right, in your home country. And then other countries and other airlines, other airports will require that you have a COVID-19 screening at the airport once you land there. So please be aware that every country, every airline has different rules. And I'm just giving you the basics. If you want specific details, let me know. So where can I travel to? Unfortunately for Americans, because of the lack of, I would say, what's the nice way of putting this? Because we haven't had a national policy on how to deal with COVID, and it's been state by state, county by county, a lot of countries aren't letting us in, right? You hear of European countries reopening their borders June 1st, July 1st, July 15th. I'm sorry, most Americans, you are not allowed in unless, like, for example, in Denmark, you can go if it is you have a summer home in Denmark and you promise to self quarantine. You can go visit South Korea only if you self quarantine for 14 days upon arrival, and the Korean government knows where you're going to be, right? They put a tracker on your phone, and this is all the contact tracing. This is why their cases have been super low in Korea, is because they know where COVID cases are, right? And during those 14 days in South Korea, what they do is they provide you food, a little hazard waste bag that goes in, that's going to go into a hazard waste facility after you've cleared quarantine. And then once you've cleared quarantine, you can travel throughout the country as you see fit. But the European countries know that Americans are like, oh, maybe I'll just fly to Ireland or, or Northern Ireland, right? Because it is no longer part of the EU due to Brexit. And then I can fly to another country. They will still check your passport and they'll figure out where your originating flight and your departing flight is from. So please don't risk the safety of others by doing that. Contact a professional who can help you with that information. So here, if you have any additional questions, that's my contact info at Riveting Trips. And I'm going to stop sharing and stop the recording. Hopefully that was helpful.